Good evening, entrepreneurs. Joe DeChara back for the third time today. Only this time it's with a special friend of mine. And I talked about this in my two broadcasts today that I did have somebody very special that I was going to bring on, and that was and somebody that was going to enlighten us about what's been going on in the business world, specifically the travel industry, because that's what my friend Shantha Mony is all about. And did I pronounce that right?
It's Shantha Money. It's just like the money you get
Shantha
from me.
Money. Oh, you
Yeah,
missed the E. That's why I was
yeah,
like,
missing the E
okay.
there.
So, but don't hold that against me.
No
People
worries.
listen. People mispronounce my name all the time, including me. But I don't have a simple name.
Yeah,
So I just botched a four-letter name. So
no,
that's
it's
so
not a common
anyway.
one.
So anyway, Shanta, the name of the show is called How You Can Win Big at Business. And what we like to do, what I like to do, is talk to entrepreneurs and educate people that are out there. Maybe, there's a lot of new business owners out there, people thinking about starting a business. And, I think it's important that they know that it's not all a bed of roses, and
Hmm.
there are obstacles, and it's not for the for people that are thin skinned and can't deal with stuff that goes on. And now, so maybe you could give us a little background on what you do, because I love what you do. I'm kind of upset that you did your cruise during tax season, and I made that known to you.
Yep,
But
yep.
maybe you could explain to people, your background, your husband, something about your business, and then we'll take it, to today.
Sure, sure. Yeah, thank you, Joe. Thank you so much for having me here today. Our core business is our travel business, and we started this about 14 years ago. And it wasn't easy because I was very interested in travel all along. That was one of my passions that I wanted to do, but I had to wait for the right time to even start that business. 14 years ago, we found that that was the right time. But even then, I started this as a part time. I wasn't quite ready to go into it full time. So we started that business part time, and I worked my way up in that, just working evenings and weekends. It was a tough road, but really, what was my passion? What was my dream? And I wasn't going to give up on that. One client at a time. I didn't know I couldn't do justice to both at one point because I couldn't work during the day because of my corporate job. So eventually, I took a leap of faith and went full time into my travel business. So that was a big step because you're leaving your security, but you have to do it if that's what you want to do. So I followed my passion, and we grew our business, and it's been going good.
And that's an important point, because at some point, like even like accountants, lawyers, you got that full-time job. You had to, like in my industry, you had to get the experience, but at some point you're picking up clients, and then
Mhm.
it's like, I got too many clients, and I can't work and then you got to take that leap of faith and give away that security, right? And that's
You
not easy.
do. Yeah.
Where does your husband come into play? Because your spouse, your significant other, is always uh, has to be part of
Yeah.
the story. Either good or bad. But if you're with them, they're part of your business.
Yes, yes. He's been very supportive. He's actually a co-owner of my business. And he helps me as much as he can because he is an engineer and he's got a full-time job. But he's part of it and he helps me with a lot of things. So it's really good. It's great to have that support system. But if you don't, you just make the best of what you have and you try to make it work. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's important. When I get a new client, and I go through that, I want to know who, do they have kids? Are they married? Are they single? Because all those relationships play into our business. So now I know with my girlfriend, we've tried to like do business together, and she's got her way, but she supports me 1,000%. But I can't, having your spouse like actually be part of your business. That must be awesome.
It is.
And that could be very powerful when,
Yeah.
and it's like the mastermind principle, we're both in the same mastermind. You know how powerful a mastermind is.
It
And
is. It is.
so,
Yeah. I
so
tried to get my kids to join the business, but that wasn't what they wanted. They had their own vision and their
I,
dreams.
I think we all want that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, all three of my kids, I had visions of them being accountants because I wanted them to help me grow my business.
Right.
And none of them, they wanted, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
But so now you've been in business, you've proven, once people pass 5 years and they have their own corporation, I think, 10 years, you're done. You've proven that you're in business.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So let's assume you're a successful business owner. You're running this company. We didn't talk about what exactly. So you're in the travel business, but you do some I was on your site. What's the name of the site now?
It's Luxury Destinations Concierge.
Okay.
And we have two models in our business. So we have the personal travel for couples, families. So because that's what we built our business on. Our passion was to help families because we had young kids and we wanted to make it possible for families to travel. So we had couples, families, honeymooners. And then a few years ago, we started our group model. And that's where we started doing, retreats and seminars and like the group cruise we did this year. It seems like last year.
Yeah, the one that you scheduled that I couldn't make because it was
Yeah,
taxes.
you can come on. You're definitely coming on the next one, Joe. We did it just
Well,
for you. It's after
it's
April 15th.
okay, and you did that just for me. I know you
Yes,
did.
I did. I
But
definitely
so
kept that in
that
mind.
was like so, and this is important because I just talked about business models before I had you on.
Mhm.
So you have actually two different business models going on with
Right.
the specialty tours, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And then you have and I love that focus because that the world we travel in, it's the more you could focus, the easier it is to succeed, right?
Hmm. Yes, it is. Yeah.
So now I don't want to put you on the spot, but I will. And I warned you about this.
No.
But so now you're running a successful business,
Hmm.
okay? And I think your cruise was in February, right?
Right. Hmm.
Before the pandemic.
Just before
So
it.
you had a successful cruise, and you're probably counting the money. You can't wait till the next one, and then all of a sudden you shut down.
Right.
What
Right.
happens?
Yeah, that was a big hit that our travel industry took. And it was, I had my next cruise all planned and I had even started marketing it and talking to everybody about it. And then we had this unfortunate thing happen. So all my clients who had even booked, I had to work on getting them back their refunds because they were not quite ready to rebook. So it took us a while just to get that going and get that processed. And then I really had to see, what am I going to be working on? What am I going to be focusing on the next couple of months? People are not quite ready to travel. So I did a lot of my educational things that I needed to do at this time, keep up with the industry, keep up with that. But I also built relationships with my clients and my friends and everything, just to stay on top of mind with them. So I kept in touch with all of them all through these months with the hope that, once it's all over, we'd still be able to travel and we still be able to book all those bookings for them. So it's so important, even though your business is at a lull, it's so important to keep those connections going, stay on top of mind with them. And that's helped me a lot.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I've been saying from the beginning. The people that I've had on, uh, it was tough. I mean, it's still
Hmm.
tough because I don't know what normal is anymore. It's going to be a different normal.
Hmm.
But the one thing I said was you cannot sit back and wait for
Yeah.
stuff to happen, right? And you didn't.
Hmm.
Uh, for me, it was kind of easy, to be honest with you, because I've been virtual, for like the last 10, 15 years. Uh, So I just had to pivot a little.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it wasn't business as usual. There were different needs, different. So thank God, you know, I've been able to come through this.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it must have, you know, and I couldn't even imagine. You know, I don't know if you know Larry Broughton. He's a friend
Yes,
of
I
mine,
do.
Craig's, and
Mm-hmm. His
you know, he
hotel.
owns hotel. Oh my God, and you know, he's coaching me now, and I can't even. It's like, you know, he had hundreds of employees,
Yeah.
and you got to start laying people off, and I'm like, this is, you know, I feel people's pain.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
heart-wrenching to do
so,
that because it's just
so
not you.
how? Yeah, well, Larry, you know, I don't think you had to lay any people off, but I know how that. If I would have a hard time, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, but Larry's, you know, former Green Beret. He's bouncing back.
Yeah.
But how
Everybody's
did
there.
you stay? How did you stay focused and positive? Like, you, was it the fact that you knew eventually we'll be traveling again, or what was it that helped?
Yeah, yeah, I knew it's going to come back. We're going to come back bigger and better. You know, people are going to, there's still going to be a small group of people who are going to wait and see. You know, there are a lot of them who, you know, just can't wait for everything like the cruise lines to come back or be able to fly everywhere. But there's still a lot of people who are going to have a wait and see. But I knew that when it comes back, everybody's going to want to travel and everybody's going to want, you know, exploring the world and just getting out of your own comfort zone. It's such a learning experience and it's such a great experience that people are not going to give up on that. Yeah,
Absolutely. You know, well, right now I've been itching just to get out of my apartment.
I know.
Uh, Going to another state is like, oh my God. But,
Yeah.
you know, my dream, what my girl and I are planning on is, and I told you this, is a trip to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been on the radar. It might not happen for about 18 months because we got other stuff planned, but, you know, we'll be talking about that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can't think about, okay, today we got coronavirus. I'm going to Japan somehow,
Yeah. You'll
some
be
way.
fine.
Yeah, if I got to
Yeah.
sneak in, I don't know, but I'm not leaving this earth without going there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. You know,
so
a lot of questions that I get, Joe, is, you know, when can I travel? When can I go back
yeah,
on? So I'm
so
sure. Hmm.
so what, and that's what I wanted to get to now. So what, has anything started opening up? Are people starting to book travel, make travel arrangements? I
Yeah,
heard like Disneyland is open, but it's kind of strange.
yeah, Disneyland and Disney World opening with all the restrictions. Some of the Mexico and some of the Caribbean countries are opened up. I just saw an article that Europe is opening up in July, but they're not opening it up for for Americans as yet because they're a little concerned about the high number of cases here. So we're going to
Uh,
see that in some of the countries where they may open up, but they may have some restrictions.
so
So
the Americans not welcome now.
right now, that's how it is. But you know, the things could change, you know, as it goes by. Some of the cruise line postponed it. They were going to open in August. They're opening up in mid-September. But all that's relative, right? As we go by, the
Right.
CDC may come up with something else. So you just get a big thing. One of the things that there are a lot of things that the hotels and the cruise lines are doing to make sure that everything is clean. You know, they're doing a lot of extra cleaning, the vents, and the hotels are also, you know, they have a lot of sanitizing stations everywhere. But one of the interesting things I read about and actually heard from one of the Marriott leaders over there said, when you go into a hotel, especially in the beginning, if it's kind of not full to capacity, ask them if you can get a room which hasn't been occupied for a couple of days. So that was an
That
interesting. Yeah.
that makes sense because the
Yep.
virus it doesn't last forever, right?
Yep, it doesn't. Yeah, and so that was a good one because you know you could, if it's full to capacity, then not good. But in the beginning, it's not going to be.
Yeah.
And the other thing they mentioned was find out how the housekeeping makes the bed. Do they use gloves or do they just use hand sanitizers and do it? Because using the sanitizers and making the beds is much better than using gloves because the gloves could pick up germs, and if they don't change it frequently enough, it's not going to be a.
Wow.
So little things like that are really interesting, that a lot of hotels are taking that into account and kind of making it safe for all of us. And so it'll be fine when we start going back and people start experiencing it.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with just little things like washing our hands and
Right.
wearing a mask. But it seems to me like, and this is just common sense. I took an Uber on Saturday to a train station, and it seemed like it was like twice as much.
Really?
And I got a feeling, I'm like, I wonder if it's because they can't do shared rides like they used to, which, cut down the cost. And I'm assuming that, any kind of travel, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but airlines, I guess, right now are doing things for dirt cheap.
Yep.
But is travel going to be more expensive? What can we expect?
Now, this is just my opinion. I'm not sure, how it's going to go. We'll have to go and see. It's going to be, there are going to be a lot of great deals, especially when we open up now, because people, they want people to travel. They want to be able to do that. So
Okay.
you're going to see, some of the airlines, we saw really low fares, like from here to, I think it was to Texas, was less than $200. It was really low. So you're going to see those pockets of fares that are coming up. Because they want you to be comfortable and be able to go on that. And same with the hotels. They're offering a lot of, some of them are offering 2-for-1 rooms, and some of them are offering really great rates. So initially you are going to see that.
So
later on.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, so it's a great time if you're looking to booking like in the holiday season, or November, December, or even next year. It's a good time to even just to start looking at that.
So what you're saying is now is the time to shop, because there's going to probably a lot of inventory and not a lot of demand.
Right.
Or,
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this could be a good time to book my trip to Japan, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Hey, this is something to think about. This is why I do these things. I can get inside information from the experts.
Yeah. And hopefully, the airlines won't raise their prices too much, because they are cutting back on some of their flights. They're going to have, some of the middle seats may not be open for a while. So even once all these specials go, hopefully it won't raise up too much.
So I don't know how much like 9/11 affected you, but you were in the business then.
Right.
Is that,
Yep.
Because I know we got some of our clients that were affected in the travel industry. We got some big SBA loans. And just like now, a lot of people got SBA loans and stuff. But was there any similarities with how we got people back into traveling?
I don't think it was hit this hard as before during that time. There was a short period of time where people were leery about traveling, but this, I think, because it's health related, there's a bigger scare, and people are a little hesitant, especially over a certain age group, especially when you're prone to. You have a lot more things to take care of, and that population is huge on cruising. The retired folks and everything, they are huge on cruising. And now, they got to go through a lot of regulations before they can even think of doing that again. So whereas on the 9/11, it was more of a scare about flying and going there, but this is a little different.
Right, I got it. This is more, yeah, I agree. Like 9/11 was more isolated. This is, there's nowhere on the planet you can go without getting away from this.
Yeah.
Literally.
Right.
So what are so I'm interested, as far as a business, have you added any other like revenue streams? This is like a loaded question. I know that you have something else, but I think that you had something else before this. But I'm just wondering, your prospects for the future, are you pivoting at all? Are you going about your business the same way? Is there anything that you're changing?
Now, as far as adding, a revenue stream, I did add my card and gifting platform, which I was using very well for the past year for my clients, and I found that so beneficial. So at this time, I kind of, did a lot more of that and got a lot more people interested in that. So that's been going well. But as far as the travel piece of it, I am looking at the different options, even on my retreats and seminars. How am I going to market those? How am I, what are the steps that I'm going to have to do a little differently to get people a little more interested in it? And also, maybe trying to narrow down some of the destinations, may not go to all the destinations that I used to travel earlier if people are not comfortable with that, and just narrow down my focus to maybe a few different destinations and just focus on those.
Become like an expert in one
Right.
or several areas. Yeah, I could see it. Listen, niche marketing,
It is.
I've learned that it can be very, very powerful.
Right.
Especially, with today's world, we can reach. I have a client in Japan. 10 years ago, I mean, I've had clients in other countries and stuff, but today I have prospects in Australia. I mean, it's crazy.
The world's at your doorstep, right?
It's almost like there's too many things we can do, and the opportunities. I don't know if you see it, but I'm like, there are amazing opportunities out there. People that have been affected by this, I hope if you've listened to this, maybe Shantha has given you some inspiration on. I mean, because Shantha, you were in a business that, like, I just listen. I'm blessed, and I didn't have to pivot that much. But I got a lot of respect for people like you, that Larry, that that's really the test of being an entrepreneur.
Right.
So I have a lot of respect for you.
Oh, thank you, Joe.
How do people get in touch with you? And I wanted to thank you for those brownies. So I do a business called Send Out Cards. It's not really a business. It was sort of like, just like you, to stay in touch with my clients. But if you want to give people a way to connect with you on that, I think it's a great marketing platform.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Yeah. The company that we use is Banner Season, and I would, as my gift, I would love to send anybody who'd like a sample if they go to iwantbrownies.com. So that's iwantbrownies.com, and they'll just let me know where to send it to, and I'll send you guys a sample of that.
Wow. I can't. I shouldn't be eating brownies. I put them on my counter and I said, I'm not eating these. I'm not eating. I'm not eating.
Yeah.
And then the next day they were gone. I don't know what happened to them. So
we have a whole bunch of different things. So if somebody doesn't want brownies, they can let me know. I'll send them something else.
Okay. And I was going to try to get that domain name too, but now I know you have it. So
yeah.
Okay, maybe wewantbrownies.com.
Right.
But anyway, iwantbrownies.com is to get your free gift. How do people get in touch with you if they're interested in booking a vacation?
Okay, it's my name, which is Shantha, and my company's name, which is luxurydestinationsconcierge.com.
Okay, I don't know how to spell that.
Okay.
and I can't put it in the chat box. I'll misspell it anyway, but it's Luxury Destinations Concierge.
Correct. Yeah.
Destinations with an S.
With an S. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's on our website too. They can go there and send me a contact info and chat, and then I can get in touch with them, or they can email me. I'd love to get in touch with them.
Okay, awesome. Like I said, well, I had fun. I hope you did.
Thank you. I did. Thank you so much.
If you could hold on now, I'm not sure about this technology, because sometimes when I end the broadcast, we just disappear. So I don't want you to think I'm rude.
No.
But if it stays on, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions. If not, thank you for joining me tonight. And Joe DeChara, that's our story. We're sticking with it. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you so much, Joe.